The tea went cold an hour ago. I watched the streetlights start to glow. I traced the outline of your name and watched it wash down with the rain. And it's a quiet kind of blue, this empty house of loving you. The shadows dance across the floor beside a locked and heavy door. I'm just a whisper in the hall with no one left to hear me call. I found your coat behind the chair, a silver thread of faded hair. I thought I heard the floorboard creak, but it's the wind that starts to speak. I used to think we'd find a way, but there is nothing left to say. Oh, the hardest part of letting go is learning how to move so slow without your hand to hold my own in this crowded world, completely alone. And it's a quiet kind of blue, this empty house of loving you. The shadows dance across the floor beside a locked and heavy door. I'm just a whisper in the hall with no one left to hear me call. The rain is slowing to a drip. The cup is frozen at my lip. Just a whisper in the hall, a quiet blue. The key is a block of green plastic and brass. I open the door to a mirror and glass. The walls are a beige that has faded to gray, and the curtains are drawn to keep out the day. It's a room with no books, a room with no soul, no stories to read to make myself whole. Just a bed and a lamp and a hollow TV and the terrible silence of just being me. No pictures of family, no art on the wall, just an empty coat hanger that hangs in the hall. It's a place made for people who pass in the night, who leave no trace under the morning light. I lie on the sheets and I stare at the ceiling, stripped of my history, stripped flickers above, an outcast of night, a stranger to love. It's a stray cat's shadow, a quiet hello. Two lonely creatures with nowhere to go. We watch one another from across the wet stone, and for just a second we are not alone. Its fur is all down and its ears are turned back as it curls its soft tail in a corner of black. It doesn't ask why I am walking this lane. It just shares the quiet of our common fate. I reach out a hand, but it slips through the dark, leaving no trace but a memory spark, a gentle reminder that warmth can exist even in alleys of water and mist. It's a stray cat's shadow, a quiet hello. Two lonely creatures with nowhere to go. We watch one another from across the wet stone, and for just a second we are not alone. Soft paws on the stone. In the wet. I wrap both my hands round the heavy white mug, searching for warmth like a desperate hug. The steam rises up in a delicate lace and meets the cold moisture that's damp on my face. It's coffee steam and tears in the dark, a fragile connection, a vanishing spark. The heat on my fingers, the cold in my chest, and a heart that is far too exhausted to rest. I watch a small droplet fall into the black, knowing that water can never go back. It dissolves in the dark of the bitter roast brew, just like the years that I wasted on you. Why does the warmth make the coldness so clear? Why does the quiet bring back every fear? I let the tears fall, I don't wipe them away. They can join the dark coffee and wash out the gray. It's coffee steam and tears in the dark, a fragile connection, a vanishing spark. The heat on my fingers, the cold in my chest, and a heart that is far too exhausted to rest. Let it cool in the cup. I won't look back up. Just steam and tears and tears and tears. Window is cold where I rest my warm cheek. The glass is a barrier, fragile and weak. Outside is the darkness, inside is the glare, and a stranger is watching me back from right there. Oh, who is this girl with the hollowed out eyes, who traded her home for these overcast skies? She looks so familiar, yet so far away, a shadow of someone who wanted to stay. The condensation is starting to rise, veiling the fear in my mirror disguise. I draw a small circle to see through the pain, but all I can trace is the path of the rain. Am I running away or just running to find a version of myself that I left far behind? The glass doesn't answer, it only reflects the quietest doubts that my spirit expects. Oh, who is this girl with the hollowed out eyes, who traded her home for these overcast skies? She looks so familiar, yet so far away, the shadow of someone who wanted to stay. Cold glass on my skin as the night closes in, just a shadow, just a shadow. Thunder has gone and the wind has died down, and a quiet peace settles over the town. The sky is a pale and a delicate blue, and the morning is clean and entirely new. There is first light on a wet slate, a silver and gold, reflecting a story that's yet to be told. The air is so fresh and the pavement is bright, as the world is reborn from the dark of the night. I walk down the steps to the quieted street, with the cool damp of morning beneath my was heavy, the journey was long, but the morning has brought me a different song. There is first light on a wet slate, a silver and gold, reflecting a story that's yet to be told. The air is so fresh and the pavement is bright as the world is reborn from the dark of the night. Silver and gold in the morning cold. First light, first light. There is first light on a wet slate, a silver and gold, reflecting a story that's yet to be told. A blanket of white is rolling in snow, swallowing up the harbor's low glow. The boats disappear in a silent shroud, and the silence around me is heavy and loud. There is fog on the water, fog in my mind, leaving the shapes of the world behind. I cannot see where the horizon lies. It's just gray on gray to my tired eyes. The lighthouse is warm, but its beam is quite weak. It struggles to find the answers I seek. It sweeps through the mist with a yellow eye, but it cannot reveal where my futures lie. When you cannot see what is waiting ahead, you have to trust in your own quiet dread, to stand in the blindness and not be afraid of the misty illusions that sorrow has made. There is fog on the water, fog in my mind, leaving the shapes of the world behind. I cannot see where the horizon lies. It's just gray on gray to my tired eyes. Lost in the light before the night. Just the thought, just the thought. I bought 3 postcards at the corner store with pictures of beaches I'll see nevermore. I sit at the table with a cheap blue pen, writing the words I can't say again. These scribbled postcards will never be be sent. They are just the remnants of what we both meant. I write down your name, and I write down my grief, and fold them away for a moment's relief. I tell you I'm safe, and I tell you I'm cold. I tell you the stories that will never be told. But I don't write an address, I don't buy a stamp. I just watch the ink dry under the lamp. It's a conversation with nobody there, a confession I whisper into the air, to let go of the anger, to let go of the pain. I leave all these letters to drown in the rain. These scribbled postcards will never be sent. They are just the remnants of what we both meant. I write down your name, and I write down my grief, and fold them away for a moment's relief. Stack of paper on the wood, I'd send them if I could, but I won't. No, I won't. These scribbled postcards will never be sent. They are just the remnants of what we both meant. I write down your name, and I write down my grief, and fold them away for a moment's relief. I turn a small dial-up lamp receiver, send the static like a desperate believer, for a voice in the dark, or a melody sweet to break up the sound of the rain on the street. It's just static on the radio, white noise and hum, waiting for a signal that never will come. A frequency lost in the mist of the night, fading away before reaching the light. A second of music comes cutting right through, a sad country song that reminds me of you. Then it slips back to hissing, it slips back to gray, like everything else that I wanted to stay. Maybe the static is where I belong, between the clear stations of right and of wrong, in the empty spaces where nothing is clear, where the noise of the world is the only thing near. It's just static on the radio, white noise and hum, waiting for a signal that never will come. A frequency lost in the mist of the night, fading away before reaching the light. Static. Smell of the salt is heavy and thick, and the moss on the harbor is green and slick. I've reached the edge of the country I know, where the water is deep and the cold winds blow. At the harbor wall, where the dark waves break, I count all the choices I had to make. The sea is a mirror of endless gray, and it washes the dust of my journey away. The fishing boats rock in their narrow slips, with the salt of the ocean on wooden lips. They are anchored and safe from the pull of the tide, while I am still drifting with nowhere to hide. There is nowhere left to run from this place. I am standing directly in front of the space where the land meets the water and ends my retreat, and the cold ocean spray is wetting my feet. At the harbor wall, where the dark waves break, I count all the choices I had to make. The sea is a mirror of endless gray, and it washes the dust of my journey away. By the salty stone, I am standing alone at the wall, at the I stand on the sand where the water is calm, and feel the cool salt on the flat of my palm. The clouds are all parting, the blue is so white, and the ocean is turning its heavy bound tide. And I look at the horizon, so straight and so clear, with no more regrets and with no remaining fear. The journey was lonely, the path was through rain, but I found my own peace at the end of the pain. The rain has all stopped, and the air is so sweet as the last little wave washes over my feet. I am not the same girl who boarded that train. I am washed off the sorrow, I'm free of the chain. so straight and so clear, with no more regrets and with no remaining fear. The journey was lonely, the path was through rain, but I found my own peace at the end of the path. The sky is so wide, I am on the other side. Clear skies and skies. The platform is thick with a cold autumn rain. I step through the doors of the last leaving train. My suitcase is heavy with things I don't need, and the steam from the engine is starting to bleed. Oh, carry me far from the ghost of his name, where the tracks run as dark as the tears in the rain. No maps in my pocket, no plans in my head, just a long iron road and the words left unsaid. I watch the streetlights dissolve in the gray as the town of my youth starts to flicker away. My fingers are frozen, my collar is high underneath the expanse of a limitless sky. There is no turning back when the signal turns red. I am chasing the silence that waits up ahead. Let the wheels hum a lullaby into the dark. Let the cold iron carry this flickering spark. Oh, carry me far from the ghost of his name, where the tracks run as dark as the tears in the rain. No maps in my pocket, no plans in my head, just a long iron road and the words left unsaid. Just the hum of the steam and the rain on the glass. Let it pass, let it pass. The door has a heavy and iron rod latch. I step inside to a warm yellow patch of lamplight and dust, and the smell of old ink, and a quiet so deep it allows me to think. In this old bookstore with shelves to the sky, I find a safe place where the storm can pass by. Thousands of stories of sorrow and grace, and none of them know of my name or my face. I run worn fingers along the old spines, reading the titles and half-faded lines. So many travelers have walked through the dark and left on these pages their own little mark. I am not the first one to lose her own way, to wander through rain in the cold and the gray. These books are like anchors that hold me in place, providing a gentle and comforting space. In this old bookstore with shelves to the sky, I find a safe place where the storm can pass by. Thousands of stories of sorrow and grace, and none of them know of my name or my face. Of ages. The ceiling is thin and the tin is so old. It rattles and shakes with each gust of the cold, and the rain starts to fall in a steady refrain, like a million small fingers tapping my brain. Oh, the sound of the roof is a beautiful roar. It washes away what I kept in my core, a rhythmic percussion that doesn't demand anything more than to hear where I land. It drowns out the thoughts of the things I have done, of the battles I lost and the ones never won. It beats like a drum in the heart of the night, keeping me company until the light. Tap on the middle and sing me to sleep. Tell me my secrets are safe in your hits the window with sudden design. Lightning comes drawing a jagged white line across the dark canvas of sky overhead, and shakes the old floorboards beneath my own bed. And the storm breaks at last, the sky starts to cry, and I let the tears fall. I don't try to dry the grief that I buried so deep in my chest. Let the thunder scream out what I never confessed. The roar of the heavens is loud and is wild, and I am no longer the quieted child who kept all her anger locked up in her heart. I am letting the lightning tear me apart. Let the foundation shake, let the old structures fall. I am screaming my truth to the plaster and wall. For the storm is the healing, the storm is the key to breaking the chains that were binding up me. And the storm breaks at last, the sky starts to cry, and I let the tears fall. I don't try to dry the grief that I buried so deep in my chest. Let the thunder scream out what I never confessed. Let it crash, let it burn. I am hiding no more. The I look at the slip, a blue paper I hold. The ink is still fresh, but the story is old. It doesn't name towns or the places I'll see. It just says I'm leaving, it says I am free. A ticket to nowhere, a ticket to ride, with nothing but silence and rain on my side. No station to hope for, no map on my knee, just the beautiful terror of being empty. The conductor walks by with a click of his brass. He doesn't ask questions, he lets the time pass. He looks at my ticket and gives me a nod, as if we are both walking past that rod. To have no destination is freedom and pain, like a river that flows with no name in the rain. I am drifting away, the anchors I cast cutting the ropes that tied me to the past. A ticket to nowhere, a ticket to ride, with nothing but silence and rain on my side. No station to hope for, no map on my knee, just the beautiful terror of being empty. No name on the line, just this moment of mine. I entered the bed on the edge of the bed and lay out the things that I brought instead of the life that I knew and the home that I lost. Each item a symbol of what it has cost. Unpacking the shell, unpack the pain, sorting the memories under the rain. A silver frame picture, a sweater of love, and a heart that is empty but somehow still full. I hold up the sweater, it still smells of pine, of a time when your hand was still folded in mine. I fold it up slowly and put it away. I don't need to carry this weight every day. To unpack is to choose what to keep and to discard. And though the selection is heavy and hard, I am leaving the anger, I'm keeping the light, and clearing some room in my spirit tonight. Unpacking the soul, unpack the pain, sorting the memories under the rain. A silver frame picture, a sweater of wool, and a heart that is empty but somehow still full. Oh, lay it all out. Oh, without any doubt. Lighter now. Lighter now. Unpacking the shell, unpack the pain, sorting the memories under the rain. A silver frame picture, a sweater of wool, and a heart that is empty but somehow still. I walk to the bridge where the highway runs wide, and lean my cold hands on the concrete side. Below me the cars are like beetles of light, slicing their way through the mist of the night. On this high overpass, in the cold rainy air, I look at the world and I wonder who's there. Each pair of headlights is a life on the run, and I am just watching them one after one. They go their homes or they go to their pain, with their wipers on fast to clear out the rain. They don't see the shadow that stands up above, forgetting her past and her long broken love. How easy it is to be high and detached, where the threads of my story are slowly unhatched. I am suspended between where I've been and the dark open places I'm traveling in. On this high overpass, in the old rainy air, in the cold rainy air, I look at the world and I wonder who's there. Each pair of headlights is a life on the run, and I am just watching them one after one. Don't speed away, I'll stay here, I'll stay here, I'll stay here. I'll stay